What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe. This is going to be Season 3 of the battle, and it is under the Season 2 ticket still, while the Season 3 ticket has yet to come in. But this is going to be a best of two we have going between Virtus.pro Polar and Moscow 5 International, which is kind of a new-ish team, although it's very safe to think of it as just Screen Squad with standing in PGG and right now standing in Arise. Anyway, here on the HeflaTV Hitbox 1 channel, I'm going to be one of your casters. I'm Mike Loris, and I also have Coucher with me. How you doing, man? Maybe I don't have him with me. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just alone then, and I am going to be holding down the fort, at least for now. And let me very quickly just get a couple of things set up because I am alone. There we go. We're good. Alright, so Moscow 5 International. It is a very new team. As I said, pretty much Screen Squad with PGG and PGG as an official stand-in and Arise as kind of like an unofficial stand-in, if that makes any sense. I'm pretty sure Arise isn't part of the main squad, but who knows? I mean, the team is still in its infancy. Screen Squad was one of my favorite Tier 2 teams to watch. They did crazy shit all the time, and it was super aggressive. It was pretty wild, and at the very least, a lot of fun to watch. And when you add PGG into that, well, I mean, you know, things can get a little chaotic, to say the least. Just a little chaotic. But we'll see. I mean, Virtus.pro Polar, they are one of the stronger teams, I would say, in the tournament, even after the little bit of the, shall we say, like, membership fiasco. They are still running with Mag now, who is a pretty solid player. Rain for the X-Gods, I'm not too sure who that is officially. It should be FNG, I think. But I'm not sure if that's actually him. So if anyone knows, that would be actually great if you could let me know about that. Either way, should be a pretty good game. I expect a lot of just crazy stuff to happen. And these teams don't really... There's no real point where I'm like, what are you guys doing? You should not be doing this right now. You should be doing this. It's very clear. I mean, they know what's up. And we'll see what they're going to be doing in this game. Razor and Tidehunter going to be the openings for M5. You know, pretty strong, pretty safe heroes. Really very tanky on the front lines. And then you can pick up softer heroes, whether they're supports or otherwise, for complementing those. We see Virtus.pro Polar respecting the hell out of Moscow 5 and banning out the Tusk, the signature hero of Screen Squad, or I guess the X signature hero, or the signature hero of X Screen Squad, and then the Omni Knight, because as I said, Screen Squad do run weird stuff. And Virtus.pro Polar, well, they pick up the Vengeful Spirit, they pick up the Ogre Magi. It's a very nice combination to have. I think they're two individually one of some of the more stronger supports in the game. Just having a play stun is absolutely huge, and having two of them is even better. Of course, up against Tidehunter and Razor, you need as much damage as you can possibly get when you're trying to cut through them. They have tons of HP, so you know, having the potential for multicasting, having the potential for just additional damage through the Wave of Terror, through the Vengeful Spirit Aura, all that's just excellent at dealing with Tidehunter and Razor. It is still difficult to kill them off. It always will be. But now with the Centaur War Runner, Virtus.pro Polar are going to have no shortage of damage. Like, they have damage coming out of their ears right now. Especially, I mean, if they pick up any sort of hero that will be doing any damage with right clicks later on. Like, right now, they don't really have anywhere along those lines. That's why we see Viper and Medusa taking the boot out from Moscow 5 in the second banning phase. Like, they will be able to dish some serious damage. And Centaur War Runner, you know, as always, he's going to be decent in lane. If he's up against Tide, probably not going to have the best of times, but he will be perfectly functional in that lane. Once he gets his Blink Dagger, then I expect Virtus.pro Polar to just go on a tear. Just go to every single lane whenever they can, and then just kill things. And that's usually a pretty good plan when your plan involves killing things. Usually, you're going to be feeling pretty good. M5, though, I mean, they take the Mirana. Should be their first support hero. And we'll see how well that works out. So far, they don't really have many heroes to set up for. Of course, there are always heroes in the pool if you want to set up for a Mirana arrow. Or you could just say, screw it, Mirana, you're on your own. You're going to have to freehand every single arrow. And, you know, depending on your Mirana player, depending on how the positioning of the enemies are, depending on how lucky you are that day, that will work really well or really poorly or perfectly mediocre. It runs the gamut, really. And it could just be that they pick up a Shaker or something like that and have a little bit of setup, but right now it's up to Moscow 5 for the most part, as they're going for a very, very middle-of-the-road type of lineup. They're not going in any particular direction. They're not being aggressive. They have a little bit of push mixed in with the Razor. All that good stuff is fairly balanced, and then they go for a Shadow Demon. So, you know, you will be able to have the Mirana Shadow Demon combination Defensively, it's not going to be fantastic. I mean, it's always going to be very useful, but generally, if you're talking about defensive skills, you want to be able to block out something a little bit more, first of all, less bursty, like Centaur War Runner, Hoof Stomp Double Edge. You'll have to be very, very quick if you want to help your ally get out from that. Coil, maybe you could save your teammate some time now, but it's going to be hard to use it defensively. Regardless, there will be situations for sure where the Shadow Demon can get that one out, but I mean, still, they have a very tanky front line, and all they're looking for is presumably one more core hero to just tie this whole thing together. And we'll see what that might be. It really depends, and it really doesn't matter. They could take this super late. They could take this super aggressively. Again, M5 with a lot of flexibility. Virtus Pro, they pick up a puck, so they do have a little bit of initiating power now, whereas Moscow 5 don't really have that much outside of a random Blink Ravage, and generally you don't want that to be your primary initiating tool. You want it to be your secondary initiating tool. Puck jumping in first is kind of similar, although, you know, jumping in for a Blink Silence onto anyone is usually going to be pretty decent. And we will see if Puck is able to do that in this game. Versus Mirana Shadow Demon, the silence is going to be absolutely fantastic. Again, more damage, and Puck is not really an aggressively slanted hero, though he can certainly be played as such. It is going to fit right in to Virtus Pro's lineup in that they have crowd control effects everywhere. Tidehunter is going to be kind of okay with that, but if M5 don't pick up BKBs, then they are just going to die. There's no two ways about it. I mean, they have so much magical damage, and now we see Gyrocopter and Doom being banned out. Virtus Pro Polar, I mean, their final core hero is very similar to M5's selection in that they can go for pretty much anything that they want, and it really would depend on what they are feeling like today. Gyrocopter, Medusa, you know, some of the stronger AoE kind of carry heroes, but still, if they want to go for that route, which I don't think they will, it's most likely going to be a more single target focus, then they're going to be fine. Something like a Morphling seems pretty good, and I think I have Coucher on the line right now if everything is working, which might not be the case. Okay, it's not the case, guys. I'm lying again. Oopsies. Okay. Hopefully, he will interject if everything does start working, but we will just continue on all on our lonesome once again. Naga Siren is going to be the pick for Virtus Pro Polar. So these four heroes that you see before the Naga Siren aren't really in... Their job isn't to end the game. Their job is to buy space for the Naga Siren to end the game. And that's a decent way to go. I mean, you could go for just full-out aggression and try to end the game and with a more short-term carry hero like a Luna or something like that, but Naga Siren definitely a popular hero as far as extending the game long, and well, Moscow 5 don't really have many great tools to deal with the Naga Siren. They can gank her decently well with the Shadow Demon Mirana, whoever else. Elder Titan, actually, the pickup for M5. Very interesting pickup. I mean, it is going to help you cut down that Naga Siren's HP pool. Ogre, Centaur, very durable heroes that if you can cut through them faster, you're going to be feeling a little bit better about yourself. But they are putting themselves on a timer. As good as Razor is in the late game, he is nowhere near Naga Siren. And let me rephrase that. He's nowhere near Illidan Naga Siren, because that is going to get really scary really quickly. So this is going to be an interesting game for Moscow 5. They have to make a lot of action happen with this Mirana. That's going to be most of where their game is going to be relying on. If she hits arrows, if she is set up constantly, if she gets many, many kills for herself, for the team, anything like that, then they're going to be looking very good going into the mid-game. They're going to try to shut down the Naga Siren, slow down the Radiance, all that good stuff. But if they can't get that happening, I mean, they have Elder Titan damage plus Tidehunter with Ravage. It's certainly very devastating, but Virtus Pro, they have many things in order to combat against that. With just 4v5, honestly. Like, Virtus Pro Polar, everyone minus Naga Siren, should be fine to hold down the fort while Naga Siren does Naga Siren things and just farms in the background. And that should, for the most part, be the plan. And I think... well, I mean, Coucher, if you ever join, then please just say something so that I could stop and we get that going. But until then, we will... GLaDOS?
Okay, tasting now. Is it working?
Hey, it is working.
No? So, I guess it might have just been my microphone with my headset. So, I just connected a completely new headset with the USB and whatnot. So, I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that it's not gonna crash anymore.
Alright, so hopefully it sounds fine to everyone, and, well, we have ourselves a draft. I don't know how much of that you actually saw, but what do you think of it, just looking at it as a full 5-on-5?
Moscow 5 X Green Squad, it's a little bit more exotic, I guess, although the Elder Titan isn't all that uncommon these days. But, man, this Naga Siren, you just need to shut her down one way or another.
Yeah, and Elder Titan is a good hero at trying to do that. Mirana kind of the same way, but it's a matter of whether or not they will get the job done. That's really going to be the big question in this game, and well, we'll see if they can do it with these lanes. We have ZXC who's going to be playing that Mirana. It is going to be a core Mirana. On the bottom lane, Screen is going to be playing the support Elder Titan along with PGG. The support Shadow Demon. Over towards mid, we got Necroman on the Razor, and Arise up towards top. He already got into a fist fight with the Puck, and it looks like he lost, albeit slightly.
Well, and for VP Polar, DK Phobos will be the offlane Puck, as mid lane taken up, of course, by Illidan on the Naga Siren, leaving a defensive tri-lane of Rain for X-Gods on the Ogre Magi, with Lil on the Vengeful Spirit, and the last one will be Mag, the stand-in on the Centaur War Runner, although he is most likely going to be a just standard member for VP.
I'm gonna figure out if, yeah, because they want a remake and VP don't want one.
Okay, well, it's always fun when just the player shows up like, well, it's only 13 minutes late, so I guess in theory they could have waited for it, or in the lobby already said that, okay guys, our player's gonna come, so let's draft and then remake.
Yeah,
they could have coordinated a little bit better.
I also like how they think we're the admins, and we're not. We just cast the games, so we have to, we're not admins.
So I'm gonna talk to Benk. Yeah, okay. You're on it. You're on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like the first tournament. Okay, oh, BenQ is actually in.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna remake, guys. I have someone saying that you're a little bit loud.
Okay, I can fix that. No problem.
Cool.
I have no idea how loud this microphone usually is, so.
Yeah, but the difference is that I'm apparently a better student than you are. Or
well,
I just am lying about my whole ability to speak another language, which is also possible.
I spent half of the time sleeping, so you must have been a better one.
Fair enough. It was always the first class of the day, and like it was a very small class, so I didn't have the option of sleeping, even though it was awfully tempting many a times. But okay, enough about languages and stuff like that, because we actually have ourselves a game. It looks like the lanes are going to be swapped up a little bit, pretty heavily, in fact. Even the Tidehunter, who loaded out first 8 Tango, is now starting out with a pure mid build. So I don't know if there's some mind gaming stuff going on, but Naga Siren was going to be up against a Razor, now is up against a Tidehunter. Not that much of a better lane for Siren. They're both really hard for her. Well, it's just probably that Razor will do a little bit better against the Puck than the Tidehunter would have, possibly. Tidehunter, usually a pretty good lane bully, but oh, we might see some early aggression. If PGG gets the disruption onto anybody, he's gonna go for it on the Ogre Magi. Ignite comes out in return, arrow will land perfect, but they just can't close the gap. PGG, there's the hooftop, I think he's gonna go down a few more right clicks, and that's gonna be first blood. But Ogre Magi, a few more right clicks from Screen. Is he fast enough? Nope, Ogre Magi starting with boots just saves his life, I think, unless a scouting arrow. Well, he has another one. I don't think he really wants to fire it. Around for the side, we have Mag rotating around again, quickly claritying up, but interrupted now by the one shot of Mirana, slowed down by the Ignite. Lil, looking for another magic missile, will instead decide to hold on to it until, well, they're going to turn around again. Screen wants in on Lil, but there's still an Ogre Magi here, not with that much mana. Lil dodges the arrow, well done. And it looks like everyone else should be able to survive, although Screen kind of wants back in. He's going to lay the Spirit down, but I don't think he can make anything happen. Although PGG has arrived, if he lands a Disruption, then they do have enough mana to throw out one more arrow. If they could connect onto Lil, PGG does have the boots, but it's going to be hard. He's going to get Magic Missiled, and Mag going to poke at everyone else. It looks like that should be just about it. The first game that we did not remake, like when we were going to bring back what's his face, Bignum into this game, the Elder Titan started with boots first, and that could have meant the difference if he had it this game.
Well, it's just sometimes the remakes actually make a difference as well, at least when you see the lanes from it. Sometimes the remake happens before the lanes or the creeps or whatever even spawn, or nobody shows his face. This time around makes a small difference, so we'll see how much of a ripple effect it can have in the end. So far though, Moscow 5, how well do you think this aggressive tri-lane is actually going to go for them?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much just a Shadow Demon Mirana with plus damage. So, I mean, this Elder Titan will be able to do quite a bit, especially if he does get his boots. And up against Centaur, I mean, he's a very tanky hero for sure, but this is a arrow combination we're talking about, and you have to be very, very tanky to withstand that. And then even more tanky even tankier so when the natural order comes up. So I don't expect Mag to get much done at all, as we do see a setup once again. Spirit, Arrow, Mag. See, he didn't really get hit that hard by it, but it's just all the right-click follow-up damage from a long range, or from a decently ranged arrow, and Mag's just dead right now. It's, I mean, not the most damage, it's not the cleanest kill, but they get a kill nonetheless, and that means the second kill is going to be that much easier.
Yeah, and I don't know what Virtus Pro was actually thinking, leaving him solo like that there. Especially as a melee hero as well, or Mag. Knowing that he's solo, he should have played way more defensively. Although, all it takes is just Shadow Demon to catch you off, and the follow-up will be there. You're gonna have plenty of time for the arrow to fly and everything else. Now, Screen, he did go for the Echo Stomp. Thought that maybe might pick up the early point into natural order, but... Oh, another disruption, it doesn't get the angle for the arrow though. Echo Stomp does still follow, but arrow, I think it landed into a creep in the end anyway.
Arrow was thrown, didn't land onto anything substantial, let's say, and well, now that VP actually have a full tri-lane here, Ogre Magi, Venge, and Centaur, they certainly have more killing power than Moscow 5. It's only when the supports and VP Polar are away doing pulls or roaming to mid lane and whatnot that this lane is really going to struggle. So, you know, with the supports here, it's a decent lane. With the supports gone, it's a terrible lane. So they really can't afford to rotate their supports out, else Mag just gets completely smashed yet again, and really, they need their supports to help shut down Bignum in the mid lane, because Tidehunter is getting absolute free farm, and there's literally nothing that Naga Siren can do about it. And also on top lane, the Puck is not having a fantastic time versus the Razor either, so these supports, they're desperately needed elsewhere, but they can't afford to leave. They're going to try to go once again for this Mirana, but looks like it's just going to end up trading a couple hits here and there. PGG seems like he wants in, disruption onto the Vengeful Spirit, arrow will be thrown, and it will connect onto Lil. Lots of damage from that arrow, and Hoof Stomp will not be casted. It'll in fact be canceled twice. Vengel's already dead if he wants to use it at all. Mag chasing forward, wants PGG, but I don't think he has enough just by himself to get this kill. Unless someone else is rotating in, no. It's going to be 2 kills now for Moscow 5's bottom lane.
Well, at least they're completely out of mana now. ZXC, I think he should go for Ring of Aquila now, get some form of regeneration. A little bit surprised that they didn't start with Ring of Pazzi a little bit earlier even. Just, you can only go aggressive if you have mana, which they have none of at the moment. Shadow Demon backing all the way home as well. Might bring a clarity if he gets enough gold for it, but... I mean, still, all in all, pretty nice kills got them from Moscow 5. And so nice to see a Shadow Demon Mirana combination just land every single arrow.
Yeah, and then having the Elder Titan Spirit on top of that, just the cherry on the cake. Really, the weakness of Elder Titan support is that he doesn't actually do anything in lane. But if he's just like tagging along, for all intents and purposes, this is just a Mirana Shadow Demon lane, and then Elder Titan's kind of the third wheel. That's fine as long as it works, and it has been working. They have been getting the kills, and the experience of splitting it between one more hero is certainly not going to be the best situation for these heroes, but the more kills you get, the less of a problem that actually becomes. We do see rotation up to the top lane. Ogre Magi with level 2 wants to go for Necroman. This is going to be a very tough kill. I actually don't know if it's even possible to get a kill on this hero. Maybe if Puck had a coil, but Ignite Fire Blast, although it does do a lot of damage, not that much versus the level 5 hero. Necroman is going to run the other way, actually. He's going to throw out a Plasma Field, and he will go down. That was a lot more damage than I thought. Level 3 Orb does do quite a bit.
I mean, he didn't even try to static link or anything like that, and I'm not too sure. He tried to, I think, dodge the Puck. He was expecting him to chaunt to the orb, so if he had kept running towards his own tower, he would have just ran into the Puck, but Puck saw through the move and didn't chaunt and just got the kill. So nice rotation by the Ogre, of course. That means that the bottom lane can't get anything done with only being a dual lane against a tri-lane. But they're getting some XP anyway, so nice rotation, and wants to go mid lane as well, although Tidehunter, he is for sure a harder kill than Razor was.
Especially since Tidehunter has a panic button in the Ravage. It's like, if he's put in that same situation that we just saw in the top lane, Ravage is going to deny all of that. And if not Ravage, then just an Anchor Smash should do most of that work as well. It's a much needed kill on the top lane, as Razor has been, for the most part, dominating the Puck. It's not too surprising, even though Puck, you know, he does have the off lane to work with, so it's a little bit harder there. So it's definitely a hard situation for the Puck. You're expected for the Razor, as the Razor, to win that lineup. And Bignum, kind of a similar thing is happening over towards mid. He's not exactly stopping Illidan from farming, but if both heroes are farming in the mid lane, then the Tidehunter, who's going to have a larger impact in the mid game, is going to be, for the short term, more useful for Moscow 5. Whereas Illidan, I mean, if he gets a quick relic up, he could certainly swing things, but he is currently not working substantially towards that. He just spent a little bit of gold, actually. Yeah, just going to get some basic items up, Quelling Blade, and that's not exactly a sacred relic.
Well, at least, well, it's only 7 minutes in as well, and he's number 2 in last hits. Some of them are jungle creeps, so maybe not that good of an indication yet. But PG looking for a good angle. Tidehunter is around as well, Big Nam. Oh god, it's gonna be a huge Ravage if he gets it up. Where's the Kraken? Just waiting for it. Ravage still cancel it. There's the Ravage. Will catch only 2. Could have been a little bit better, but those 2 heroes just got blown up anyway.
Now they're looking for a little bit more in DK Phobos. I don't think they have quite enough to kill off this puck, but regardless, that was actually very well done by VP, given the circumstances. Like, they were completely screwed in that situation because the Ravage was imminent, but they landed one stun and then another stun onto the Tidehunter, so he was obviously a little bit delayed from that. Oh, another setup stomp onto DK Phobos. He's sleeping now, but they'll wake him up just so he could jaunt to the orb, and Arrow will fly and miss because of that. But they stunned the Tidehunter twice, delaying it, and oh wait, hold on, because it's Ogre Magi's turn to die now. He's going to get linked up, and he actually has nowhere to run, so yeah, I don't really think he could escape from this one. Needs a couple more hits. Elder Titan Spirit going to get the kill. But Tidehunter, they stunned him twice, and then they coiled mid-animation of the Ravage, and if they messed up those stuns, or if those stuns didn't happen, then 3 at the very least people would have been hit with that Ravage instead of just 2. And the 2 that were hit, not exactly the worst heroes to lose either, so it was as well played for Virtus Pro as they possibly could have, but given the situation, there was no good outcome for them. So it's going to be a whole bunch of more kills for Moscow 5. Bignum is going to be chased down by Lil, but he should be just fine. For Moscow 5, this is pretty much what they have to do. Against an Naga Siren, you just have to push your towers, restrict her space, and try to get kills. If not on her, then on everyone else.
And it's going to be a mech finish now as well for Big Nam already on the Tidehunter. 8.5 minutes in. He should have plenty of mana as well with the Arcane Boots and the bottle on top of that to sustain it. Of course, that's going to mean that Blink Dagger is going to be delayed by a little bit. But the sustain is real from them. Especially since Centaur is not yet level 6. No Stampede, no Blink Dagger in sight as well. The same for the Puck. Well, he's past level 6, at least has his Dream Coil. But without the Blink, they're not half as scary. So Moscow 5, I think they should be able to just go rather aggressive and make sure Naga Siren doesn't have the space to farm.
Oh, and it seems like they agree with you, because PGG is going to run straight into the Ogre Magi. Arrow angle isn't quite there. The Mirana shoots it right into a neutral creep. That shouldn't have been really surprised. They're going to chase down Rain anyway. They might have enough chasing power to kill this Ogre regardless. He's going to eat one Tango to try to get himself through, but that additional damage from the Curse is going to kill off the Ogre Magi. So even with a botched Arrow combination, they have just enough damage to kill off, granted, a support, but it is an Ogre we're talking about, and well, now they might be in a little bit more trouble as Necroman is going to start fighting up against Lil and DK Phobos. He's draining the damage of the Vengeful, now getting put into a bubble for safety. That actually might have let Lil get away. They're going to Stampede forward. It's not going to mean much of anything as the Tidehunter does come in with the mech. Necroman has a bottle as well. He's going to get juiced up right back to full HP, and M5, they take a couple more kills, and looks like they're going to go for a tower push. They don't have great tower pushing heroes, but if Virtus Pro want to defend this, then they're going to get a really bad fight on their hands because they're facing down a Ravage.
DK Phobos was fighting the Mirana at the moment, but Mirana stood his ground, bottled up the Illusion Rune, and with the Illusion Rune, gonna be a small assistance to push. Mech gonna be off cooldown in 17 seconds as well. But I have to agree, the defensive disruption might have saved the Vengeful Spirit's life there. Of course, he wanted to make sure Razor doesn't die, but Razor, man, where's your magic wand? It's just the best item in the game, everybody should buy it.
Yeah, 200 gold saves lives. You should make an advertising campaign for Magic Wand, although I don't really know if that's necessary, because everyone does love that item except for the Razor. Up against Puck, it's probably not the best item to get, so it's understandable. But we do see that mid lane push, and Bigdom does still have the Ravage. If nothing else, it's just the threat of getting hit with the Ravage that's keeping Moscow 5 safe and secure in this push. Again, they don't have the most pushing power, but when the enemy team doesn't want to defend, you can pretty much take whatever you want, and that's going to be a tower for Bignum. He's sitting on 700 gold right now. Should be a Blink Dagger next for him, although I wouldn't really be surprised to see a Force Staff either. They are going to have to work up against Centaur up on top, who is actually named Mag. Yeah, he's working towards his Blink Dagger all the while. Still quite a ways away from it, and DK Phobos is a similar situation. So until that happens, Moscow 5 can do whatever they want in this map.
Well, the biggest thing is still this little guy here, Naga Siren. Oh, he's gonna get caught. He's up to 3.2k gold, but disruption. No, he disrupts himself, and that's the song of the Siren. Oh, PGG. That was like classic PGG moments.
I think, to be fair, the Song of the Siren probably would have come out anyway. I don't think they have enough burst to kill her off within a Ravage.
5-second arrow, maybe?
The Mirana was really far away. She was on bottom lane. If they had an arrow, then for sure they could have gotten the kill, but I don't think a kill was possible there. At least I'm going to say that so that PGG doesn't feel too bad about himself. There was no kill anyway. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
Well, that may be true enough, and still, it's a 3-minute Song of the Siren on cooldown now, so Moscow 5, they can still go rather aggressive. PGG, not gonna get caught out. Lil picks up the bounty rune, and they just continue. Can Moscow 5, or should they just go for the top tier 1 as well? I mean, their own safe lane tier 1, usually the easiest thing to push in theory, but the more games I see, the more I notice that the safe lane tier 1 is the last to die.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird how that happens. It really depends on where the Jakiro goes, right? Because that's pretty much the hero that determines which towers die. So it is, for now, going to be just a straight push and Moscow 5 up on top lane. Again, they have a Ravage, and the longer you sit on Ravage and you don't use it, the worse off you become over time. So it's going to be Moscow 5 looking for a Ravage should an opportunity arise. And, oh man, this is going to be a sticky situation. Everyone's still smoked up here. And unless this pause lasts for a very long time and there's some sketchy stuff going on, then we should see Mag and Lil both in a little bit of trouble, assuming PGG, either stays there or Mag runs off to the right. Any of these situations could be very bad for VP.
Well, at least they have the Stampede this time around to maybe escape or maybe have assistance coming in a little bit earlier. Puck, he's pretty close by, of course, as well. Doesn't even need to TP to the tier 2, really. If they pop the Stampede, he can be there pretty fast with the Dream Coil. But Tidehunter, Tidehunter is the biggest thing. The Ravage, by far, should be the strongest ultimate in the game at the moment. Although, I think Illidan, he doesn't even care. He's like, 200 or 350 gold away from the Sacred Relic. Farming up a triple stack at the moment as well. So, if he farms this up successfully and doesn't die, he's gonna have his Relic. At least a gold for it.
Yeah, and that's an amazingly quick relic as well. Given the circumstances against Tidehunter mid lane, lots of heroes on your team dying here and there. Naga Siren herself hasn't died, and really that's the reason why we see so much gold on her. It's going to be a little bit difficult for Moscow 5 to take the game after the Naga Siren relic, as, again, they don't have many great tools against Naga Siren. The Astral Spirit and the Aura is certainly very nice. Echo Stomp is very convenient as well, but as far as actually fighting the Naga in a 1v1 duel, who's going to do that? Like, Razor is probably your best bet, but you can only drain damage out of one Siren, and figuring out which one and actually making that work is a lot harder said than done. And top lane, well, the smoke is going to fail, but they're still going to push top lane only with 2 heroes.
Well, 2 might be enough. Razor going for a straight of Aghanim's as well. Not even finishing off the drums, at least not yet. That's a little bit weird, to be honest. Went for the Bracer and Robe of Magi and then into Point Booster. I mean, if you already have the Robe of Magi as well on top of the Bracer, might as well finish them up. ZXC going for drums as well, and oh, they sniped the courier. PGG, he gets the last right click for it. I think that, yeah, that should have been the Sacred Relic on the courier now. So Illidan is gonna have to go there himself, or just sit with a crap ton of gold in the bank and risk dying.
And if he goes there by himself, then there is an Observer Ward that's going to spot his movement. That's the reason why M5 actually got the courier kill to begin with. So this is going to, for sure, slow down the Naga Siren. It's going to mean that she has more time where she can potentially die and lose that relic gold. But as long as she plays it safe, then she should be fine. But all the while, I mean, that relic isn't up, which means she's doing less damage even if she wants to join a fight. Moscow 5, they're just going to go for this push. And, well, they have the mech working, and they still have that threat of Ravage. Now that the Centaur has a Blink Dagger, VP can fight on paper, but if they actually want to fight, that's a completely different story, as going into a Ravage, even with that Centaur initiation, is going to be extremely, extremely dangerous.
Man, the game number 1 is already over. Game number 2 is already starting for the second stream. It's like, how the hell is there such a difference? But oh, Demonic Purge, never mind, Stampede comes out and DGFO was his safe, picks up the Blink Dagger as well. So they have the Blink Dagger initiators, both the Mag on the Centaur and Puck. So can they just make something happen now? The 4 of the heroes on Virtus Pro Polar, especially with Ogre having multicast available as well, they should be able to fight even as 4, to be honest. Unless it's into a Ravage, but they should be able to create plenty of space for Illidan now, I think.
Yeah, and just by dying and, forcing M5's fights away from the Naga Siren, they have been already creating a lot of space. The Siren is almost going to be able to straight buy a Radiance, which is, not the ideal way to build up the item, but hey, if you could do it, then why the hell not? Now VP are actually, as you said, capable of fighting, and this is going to be a lot more dangerous for M5, not because they can't take the fights, just because they don't have 100% fight supremacy with that Ravage any longer. So it's going to mean that even though they may be able to land a Ravage, they may not be able to 100% bulldoze that fight thereafter. And it's still going to be a relatively even fight, especially since they are working with a mech, whereas I don't believe VP are. So yeah, all the gold being turned into blink daggers instead of healing items for VP. So mech going to be a big item difference for Moscow 5, and the Astral Spirit, so it's only 1 point natural order, so it's not going to be a huge swing there, but it's still possible for M5 to fight even after the Ravage, but it's just looking worse and worse as these Blink Daggers do come up for VP. And, well, the Naga Siren does get her hands on that Sacred Relic, so mission accomplished.
He just ran there with 3 heroes pushing out the top tier 2. Of course, they had the sentry on the high ground before, so they knew there's no vision this time around for Moscow 5. And that means he's only about 400 gold away from finishing up the Radiance. It's going to be like 17-18 minutes in, definitely a pretty good timing. He didn't go for drums, but Ring of Aquila takes up some gold anyway. So he's farming pretty fast, still number 1 in net worth, and that's even without the Radiance. Moscow 5, at least they're getting the map pressure out of this, getting another tier 2 down, or the first tier 2 down. If they can get enough pressure, just... although they kind of need racks, like maybe latest 25 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, a nice item that is being built up for M5 at the moment is the Aghanim Scepter from Razor. You mentioned it is very weird to see the drum being delayed after you have most of it completed anyway, so it's like, well, you might as well just get the drum and finish that off, but the Aghanim Scepter is going to be huge. It is going to be an item that is going to allow Moscow 5 to pressure the base of VP Polar, especially the high ground, which otherwise would have been very dangerous. Going into that high ground situation against a Blinking Centaur and a Blinking Puck is most certainly going to spell your doom. And to a lesser extent, Eye of the Storm is going to be able to punish the Naga Siren or punish VP even through Song of the Siren. So the sooner Necroman gets this Aghanim Scepter, the sooner Moscow 5 can pressure the towers, the sooner they could actually look to win the game before the Naga Siren gets too big. And if that doesn't happen, then Naga Siren can easily run away with this game. And Moscow 5, they need this item up so very badly so that they could very quickly take down the rest of the towers.
Yeah, well, the Radiance is now finished as well. I don't think there's a pipe incoming. Bigdam might go for it now after the Blink Dagger, although I think Refresher Orb on the Tide would be probably better. Still, they are pressuring the tier 2, at least trying to do so. The only Purge was used by PGG just randomly onto Ogre Magi, even got the swap out of the Vengeful Spirit. Just in case ZXC gonna get silenced up by DK Phobos, nothing else comes of it. And he is going for the Maelstrom. Doesn't quite have it yet, still needs the Mithril Hammer for it.
And now the split pushing from VP Polar, it's going to start keeping them afloat. They hold on to their tier 2 tower. Not exactly a huge objective there, but it didn't even take that much damage. So everyone from Moscow 5 forced back into their side lanes, and well, they will make quick work of it, especially these supports. Very much so need the levels, especially Screen as the Elder Titan. You need a lot more levels, if nothing else, just to get one value point of Earth Splitter down the line, but of course Natural Order is going to be a high priority as well. Necroman is 100 gold away from his Aghanims, though he is being stalked by a couple of supports. He will be able to teleport out just fine, and VP have bought themselves so much room just by split pushing a little bit with Mag and a little bit with Illidan. The Radiance is now up, and Naga Siren is going to pretty much do this for the rest of the game.
It can turn into a pretty lame game at some point. I mean, we haven't had too many kills as this, 2 to 6. I think like 2 or 3 of the kills happened in the first 2 minutes or something. So things have definitely slowed down, and it's just favoring Virtus Pro Polar. They don't have the craziest late game apart from the Naga Siren, but Naga Siren against what Moscow 5 has might just be enough. Just the illusion split pushing. So hard to deal with that. And Moscow 5, they don't have any heroes like maybe Ember Spirit who can leave behind the Remnant, TP to a tower, push the lane out a little bit, then come back to the Remnant and join the team. Or Morphling with the Replicate. They don't have anything like that really. Nobody who would want to build Boots Prayers really early on because everybody needs damaging items or survivability items. So, Moscow 5, they're gonna have to maybe try to snatch an Aegis or something and then just go all out push before Naga Siren gets the Boots of Travels into meta style.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, they don't have the mobility, so it's going to be up to VP to keep Moscow 5 off balance. Just going for an all-in push is probably going to be the best course of action, and it's not really that all-in. Like, you could just group up as a 5-man and push, especially now with the Puck picking up a Hand of Midas. Oh man, this is a huge green light for Moscow 5 to just go in, especially since they have the Aghanim Scepter as well. This is an incredibly greedy play from VP. Puck could have otherwise gone for something like Yule Scepter, maybe even started on a Sheep Stick and try to solidify the late game, or try to solidify the mid game rather with those items. But instead, going for a late game build with the Naga Siren kind of seems unnecessary for that Puck. And well, their tower is being bulldozed right now. Necroman only level 2 Eye of the Storm, but it is more than enough to bring it down. And VP, they're getting quite a bit of split push elsewhere. Bottom lane tower might be falling soon. Top lane looking pretty unhealthy as well. So it's a tier 2 in exchange for a tier 1 at the very least. Although Rainbow TP's up on top lane. Illidan does have a song to get himself out of here, so I don't think there's any threat of him dying. Bottom lane is still pushing. Mag won't be able to push that out, but I mean, M5 get a tower. Is that enough? I don't think it is.
Well, I wouldn't. I would agree with you there as well. It's just not enough by a long stretch, I think. Tidehunter is still farming up. Razor has the Aghanim Scepter as well. But they need just so much more of the heroes to have. Mirana, although she was the tri-lane farmer, and the aggressive tri-lane went pretty well as well for them, still doesn't have the craziest amount of farm. And the Puck, man, the Midas, it's best counter-pushing tool. Just eat one creep, man. Half the creep we've gone.
Yeah,
well,
and then going for Gloves of Haste, which is definitely going to be turned into Maelstrom. Yo, creep clearing Puck all day. Easy.
Well, to be honest, I have to say I don't mind the Hand of Midas all that much, since the Naga Siren or their playstyle isn't going to be mid-game oriented anyway. They could try to fight this 4 versus Pro that is without the Naga Siren, but it might heavily backfire, so I think just being passive, getting the wars going, although I think Moscow 5... Oh, never mind, it was Virtus Pro Polar that went for the early HM right out. Ogre Magi has been holding it for quite some time. I would have expected him to give it to the Puck, to be honest. But they're running around with the gem, so they're making sure that Moscow 5, they do not catch them off guard.
Yeah, in Moscow 5, they haven't been able to do that for a very long time. Like, I believe the last time was Ogre Magi when the arrow shit onto random creeps. That was the last time anyone from VP was caught off, and the supports are just being very happy about that just because they're getting very slowly more levels and a little bit more health because of those levels, stuff like that, just help them out down the line. Bottom lane push is going to commence, and this is not going to be something that VP are going to want to hold, nor do I think they could actually hold it. But losing a tier 2 tower like that when you have a Naga Siren who's still happily farming, probably worth it, especially when it does come again at the expense of a tier 1. They're going to try to defend everything, even fortifying the mid tier 1, and it looks like this tower will be denied, so a nice little win there for Moscow 5, unless DK Phobos is feeling really baller. Not going to do it. Tower is going to be in deny range, and we're going to try to chase down Lil, but Big Gnome not quite fast enough. Now Stampede being used for top lane, actually, where they initiate onto Necroman. They're going to kill him off in an instant, and Puck at the same time, killing off the Shadow Demon over towards mid. He will jaunt himself south, and Arrow will narrowly miss. DK Phobos, though, completely stuck. They have to use Ravage if they want to get this kill, and they really don't want to. Big Gnome is going to hold on to it after thinking about it with the cast animation, but it is 2 down for Moscow 5. They defend their tower, but it's at a steep cost.
And they're going to lose their tier 2 as well, most likely. Illidan is there with the illusions, already sending one out as well just to scout, just to make sure nobody will catch him off guard. He has the Song of the Siren, and it's a Tidehunter coming in. Blink, no Ravage of course, and that's the song. Easy escape. Well, tower, I guess it's safe for the time being, but down to 300 HP. Virtus Pro, they're really just toying around with Moscow 5 at the moment. Naga Siren suddenly 3k ahead of the next highest net worth.
Yeah, I think we're at the point in the game where, even though it is still fairly early and it's only a 2-kill lead for Moscow 5, it is pretty much all of the weakness of the Naga Siren nullified at this point. She has the travels, she has the radiance, now she even has the Yasha on top of that, plus a gem for extra true sight value with the illusions. Illidan is going to be getting to that Naga Siren point, and Moscow 5, they've taken out all the tier 2 towers of the enemy, which is a nice way to start, but if they're not actively looking to break the high ground and take Raxes, then they're slowly going to get swallowed up in Naga Siren illusions. Taking a Roshan is definitely going to be a safe line of play, and it'll help them have a little bit more momentum down the line for that high ground push, but this is something that VP can actually contest. They have no Song of the Siren, but they still have a Blinking Puck and Centaur, and that might be good enough, although they are fighting into a Ravage. They're going to send illusion after illusion just to keep track of this Roshan's HP pool. And it looks like they are not going to go into this Roshan pip. They're going to take a tower instead, and this Roshan actually isn't falling that fast. So VP can get the tower and then the Roshan defense if they really want to, but it seems like they don't want to. They're going to concede Roshan to Moscow 5, at least for now.
It's going way too damn slow. They're not even using the Gush for it at all. Of course, Gush is the only one to pop the spell block as well, so makes it a little bit harder unless they want to demonic purge Roshan. So they're taking a long time. They're losing quite a lot of HP. I mean, VP Polar just send one hero there and suddenly Big Gnome is dead. But they didn't do it. They wouldn't take the risk. They got the tier 2 in the meantime. Mag has his Crimson Guard now as well. And looking at the graphs, net worth is in VP's favor now. It used to be about 6,000 for Moscow 5. And there's the Blink Dream Coil onto PGG with Mag coming in. Poor Shadow Demon.
My god, I go there for 1 second and all of a sudden he's just dead. Shadow Demon didn't stand a chance, and he will continue to not stand a chance, and that's just another pick off for VP. Again, these heroes all minus the Naga Siren, their job isn't to win the game. Their job is to buy space, and that's the great way of buying space. Like, getting any pick off at all delays the push of the enemy into your own base. It helps that you get more farming space for your Naga Siren, and it's pretty much exactly what VP Polar actually need to be doing right now. And M5, they can't exactly push, not any longer, with only 4 heroes. They probably could have previously if they had an earlier Aghanim, something like that, but they need everyone to be in this push, and even then, I don't know if they could get the push to happen. A little bit of chip damage for sure. Even with the Aegis on the Razor, though, you have to watch out because the Eye of the Storm no longer persists through the Aegis respawn. So Necroman, he's got to be playing a very delicate game. He's only at half HP right now.
Yeah, he's going for a BKB now at least, and I don't think they have an urn, or even if they had an urn, they wouldn't have been able to get any charges on it for like 10 minutes by now, I think it is. Maybe even a bit longer since they last got any kills. I mean, the last 3 kills have been going towards Pro Polar. It used to be 2 and 6 at some point. But Bignum blinks in aggressively. They want to go for the buildings. There's the Eye of the Storm level 2 activated as well, but will it even be enough? Mantos Tide finished the Naga Siren as well already. 26 minutes in. Pretty crazy. Oh, Blink Silence. Never mind. No Dream Code to follow. Could have been some pretty epic initiation here.
Oh, the Puck is just going to poke and prod. They don't actually want to fight VP. Or VP don't actually want to fight. They just want to make sure Moscow 5 don't want to fight either. That's why they're just sending out their skills, trying to thin out the creep wave, and all the while wasting Moscow 5's time because someone's farming in the back line. It's going to be Centaur Warrunner this time. Already has a Crimson Guard completed, working on what I can only assume is going to be a BKB. Even though the Naga Siren isn't really farming all the while, she has a Manta-style Radiance. Really, she's pretty much, I mean, she's obviously not peaked out, but for this point in the game, she's as strong as you could possibly want her to be. Next item should be a health item, Heart of Tarask, Eye of Scotty. Any of these items are great for the Naga. And, well, actually, Mag might be farming a little bit too much by himself. He's going to get put into a bubble. Only 2 heroes. Can these 2 actually kill off a Centaur? It doesn't seem like they can. In fact, Centaur is just going to stampede and run away. He still has Shadow Poison nipping at his heels, but I think he should be fine to make it out. Yeah, he will. Straight into the safety of DK Phobos. Bigdom's going to charge forward. Has a Ravage. Thinking about it once again. Will not throw it out. And in the back line, it is going to be circling around. The Puck. Hot PGG with the coil. Yule Scepter will buy Shadow Demon a little bit more space. And in the meantime, Naga Siren gets a kill on the Elder Titan down towards the south. But up into the top fight, no one dies.
I thought Centaur might even get caught. Shadow Demon, he needed to pop his Shadow Poison on the Tidehunter, on the Centaur rather, just to make sure he cannot blink away. Although, not too sure if they would have been able to chase him down anyway, just because he's a little bit faster than the others are. So, a nice escape. And VP Polar, they've tied up the kill score of a massive 6 for 6. Or 6 versus 6, I don't even know, man. But it's been a long time since I've only seen 12 kills 28 minutes in, especially for just Russian teams.
Yeah, man, I'm a little bit disappointed. Like, these 2 teams usually don't play such a slow game. VP, I mean, with Illidan, he's a decent carry player, so it's understandable to see that. But definitely not M5 or Screen Squad. This is definitely not the type of game that they like to play, or it's definitely not a game that I often see them playing. And it's, I think, partially a fault in their draft. I don't think the Elder Titan has so far carried his weight. If they had a more aggressive support hero, i.e. a support hero like Ogre Magi or Venge, then that'll be a little bit more in M5's wheelhouse.
Well, when there was the M5 with Vigos and PGG on the same team, PGG, he went for the Ogre pretty much every single game. It was first pick material for them, like Ogre, and then we'll see what we can get after this. This time around, going for a slightly different route. I mean, the aggression early on definitely was there. I mean, they went aggressive tri lane, Shadow Demon, Mirana, got a couple of kills with the disruption into Arrow as well. But afterwards, the aggression just... was it the blink being delayed a little bit for the Tidehunter because he went for the mech first? Was that the reason? Or, of course, Tidehunter isn't like the greatest hero to force things. He's like great for counter initiation and whatnot. But him being the sole initiator can, or most of the time, just doesn't work out as great.
Yeah, I mean, they had no way of starting small-scale fights, I think, was the problem. Like, they had the threat of Ravage when the Tidehunter had the mech up and no blink. They were still pushing, and they were just fine in doing so, because if you want to fight us, you're fighting into Ravage, therefore you probably don't want to fight us. But who was going to start the small-scale fights? Pretty much only the Shadow Demon Mirana, and they tried sometimes, but VP Polar, they had such great map vision and map awareness of what was going on that they were not getting caught out by any of that shenaniganry. So Moscow 5, they struggled to get those small-scale fights. The large-scale fights were completely avoided by VP. Therefore, we find ourselves with a only 13 kill game 30 minutes in. VP have been doing a fantastic job at just dodging fights left and right, and just by doing stuff like this in the mid lane, like sending a couple of Naga Siren illusions out, Riptiding, Radiance Burn, clearing off the creep wave, means that once again M5 can't do anything. Although DK Phobos, what are you doing back there? Not exactly where Puck wants to be, although he will blink out to the south, and DK, oh my god, is he gonna live? I can't believe he made it out. Tidehunter thinking about ravaging once again, but he hasn't ravaged in like 10-15 minutes at the very least, and that's a really bad thing for Moscow 5.
There was a Mithril Hammer and the BKB recipe for the Elder Titan on the courier that DK Phobos sniped there as well, so kind of a huge blow. And they got the revenge for the courier snipe that Moscow 5 themselves did before. And overall, DK Phobos just toying around with them. Up to 3.8k gold now as well, thanks to the Midas. But Mac gonna go in, hoof dump onto Bignum. Double H as well, they need a little bit more Illidan. He's backing off with the Stampede, as is everybody else, I guess. Arrow gonna land onto an illusion, but not gonna do anything. Illidan, Song of the Siren. Oh, he needs Bignum to be in it. Or, well, he can just kill PGG as well. Never mind, gonna TP out.
Yeah, Illidan not going to take any chances. That has not really been how VP have been playing this game. They're going to play it as slow as possible, glacially slow. And the longer it works for them in that way, the more items Illidan is going to have. It's definitely, you know, the most boring way to play Dota, for sure. Naga Siren games tend to get like that, but I mean, if it works, it works. And we're not here to, or they're not here to show entertaining games. They're here to win big cash monies and stuff like that. So, and this is what brings home the big bucks. You might as well just go for it. M5, they're slowly getting further and further behind. Now the Midas on Puck, it's been completely unpunished. He's going to go for a 30-minute Dagon. He's going to jump in, mess with the mid lane. Just playing games with them. Like, this is what Puck does. He just jumps in, messes with you, and then jumps out. PGG gonna get shredded by Naga Siren illusions. They're gonna try to make a retaliation kill onto Illidan, but he's way too fast. He's gonna quickly juke into the trees and dodge all of that. So PGG gets assassinated by the Naga Siren. Now ZXC, Magic Missile will kill him off with the help of DK Phobos' coil already used. Necroman and Screen and Bignum all want to help, but there's no one here anymore. Everyone else from VP are long gone, and just like that, it's 2 more down for Moscow 5. And VP, they haven't lost anything for a very, very long time.
It's hard to really keep track of how long it has been. I think it's been minimum of 15 minutes now. I can just look at the graphs and everything started going south from like 17 minutes onwards about. And it's suddenly a 10,000 net worth lead, almost a 12k EXP lead already for VP Polar. Illidan, does he have his heart finished? Well, yes, he just has enough gold and has the recipe shipping out to the secret shop to get the vitality booster. But we're gonna have a double Ravage, which Bignum cannot use now. So, oh god, maybe just get another Aegis when it comes up and then try to go for high ground. They're gonna have to do something desperate soon enough, because not only is the Naga Siren out farming Moscow 5 now, it's also the Puck as well as the Centaur.
Man, yesterday I was casting a game of Lions where the Tidehunter, it was the same exact situation. Like, had a Ravage, was sitting on it for like 20 plus minutes, then got a Refresher Orb and didn't use a Ravage after then at all. So
yeah, he died without buyback in the end, I think.
Yeah, died without buyback with Refresher Orb available because of a Chronosphere, which is hard to avoid for sure. But man, I mean, it has been so long since we've seen a Ravage, and I said
I think we've only seen one.
Yeah, have we only
anyway
seen one?
In this game.
Like, it's been like disgustingly low, the amount of Ravages we've seen. They're gonna run into Rain for X Gods. Oh my God, is there gonna be a kill for Moscow 5? I think there is. It's only an Ogre Magi, but they're going to be happy to take that one unless Song of the Siren sets up for retaliation. No, there's only a Vengeful Spirit here, so Song of the Siren kind of wasted, but it's only a minute cooldown, not really a huge deal. Regardless, this is probably the best opportunity that Moscow 5 are going to have in order to push.
Oh, it looks like VP Polar, they're pushing as well. Cliff even comes out as Mac trying to go for the tier 3. Since he doesn't have a Heart of the Rask, the return doesn't do a crazy amount quite yet. But he's going to bring down the tier 3. Moscow 5 though, they don't care, they want to keep on going. Bignum down to half HP. Just the illusions and the Riptides doing so much from the Naga Siren. And since they don't have an urn, they have a mech but no pipe either. They're just gonna be whittled down and they're gonna have to back off at some point.
What could Moscow 5 what could they do to actually come back from this? Because they have to have some way of forcing a team fight. That's going to be their best bet. Like, use the double Ravage, win a team fight, take Raxes. But with VP, the way that they're playing, like, they don't have an Nature's Prophet on their team, but it certainly feels like they have 2 of them on their team. Like, there's no way that Moscow 5 are ever going to force a team fight unless they catch someone off guard, and how are they going to do that? They lack the single target initiation. Maybe the Mirana arrow is going to randomly hit a Naga Siren, and that's going to lead to a kill, but outside of that, I don't really know what's possible. Oh, where the hell did that happen?
In the base, man. The last illusion, it was just about to time out. It came in and got the Riptide just before the illusion itself died to the base, but enough to get the kill on PGG. Oh my freaking god. I mean, you're not safe even in your own fountain.
And yeah, at that point, what could you really do? Naga Siren has reached full Naga Siren status. She is still 2 items away from being completely 6-slotted. Can go for literally whatever item she wants in this game. I want to see a Basher Siren. I don't think I've seen that ever. Probably doesn't work that well, but I just still want to see it. They're going to set up for a potentially top... No, these are just illusions. Never mind. Alright, so nothing going on for Moscow 5, whereas they're just conceding all of the map for VP. I mean, the gem on the Ogre early on was great at keeping VP safe. Now they just don't even need that true sight. Honestly, even if Moscow 5 had complete map vision right now, I don't think that would be enough to help them. Oh, they're going to find themselves an Ogre again. Maybe they're going to get another kill on the Ogre. I mean, for every time PGG dies, I guess the Ogre Magi has to die as well.
Yeah, it's equivalent trade at the moment. A support for support, but look at this. Illidan might get the range tracks from this Necromon. Starts to steal the damage, but he even micros that 1 illusion away, so Necromon can't even get the max static link. Sticky Phobos gets the Shadow Demon. Well, he has a maxed out Dagon now, or is it level 4? Well, yeah, maxed out Dagon. So it was a 1-for-1, but they lose the range tracks.
Kills aren't even that relevant in this game. Like, if Moscow 5 lose 2 or 3 heroes, it's gonna mean that they can't defend, but they're not defending anyway. And VP Polar, the only heroes that actually matter that they lose is Illidan, and he gets tagged with an arrow. Spirit's gonna jump in, stars are gonna fall, Earth Splitter as well as a gush in, and Naga Siren's gonna die. That's a nice little pick off, and she actually doesn't have a buyback. Literally just purchased an Eagle Song. This would be on paper the time for Moscow 5 to make a push if they could mobilize fast enough. And well, they're not mobilizing fast enough. They're gonna try to go to the mid lane, but look who's top, Mag, as he has been for pretty much the entire game. He's just slowly pushing down, and they're also going to find the Mirana, going to leap out of the coil, will stun herself in the process, though will be surviving that. Phobos does no longer have a coil, and well, Moscow 5, this is probably their best opening. They don't know that the Naga Siren doesn't have buyback, but they're sure as hell going to test it.
And it's a pretty huge kill, and I heard the Elder Titan Earth Splitter is pretty damn good if you're up against heroes with Heart of the Rask or just tanky heroes. It does do max HPS damage, 35% of it, so it did a surprising amount to me. I didn't think Naga Siren is going to just die pure from that, but they're going to have to get the racks pretty much now or never. I don't think they're going to get another chance like this.
Yeah, so they have to get something out of this. But Phobos is once again going to jump in and start the harassment. Stuns are going to be thrown. Ravage now being committed. Going to connect onto 2 supports. Secondary Ravage will be thrown. This time connecting onto the Puck as well. The Vengeful Spirit's going to drop. The Ogre Magi looking for a little bit of space. Will not find it. Rax is now completely exposed. And the Mag, he's trying to cut the creep wave. And he's doing a decent job at it. Mag is now back in this fight. A nice hoof stomp onto 4. Screen's the only one to survive that because of BKB. Now they're chasing down for Bignum. Echo Stomp is going to land onto 2, but Mag still in that BKB form. Looking for Bignum as the Screen Elder Titan runs off to the south. Bignum might be able to escape this one, but they don't take Raxes. And that is pretty much the end result. Moscow 5 will also lose 4 heroes, which is not exactly the best scenario for them, but hell, at this point, losing 4 heroes, it doesn't even matter. You have to take the buildings, because now VP Polar, they have Illidan back up, and just like that, he's just holding on to 1,800 gold. He has buyback, and I don't know how he got that gold, but he somehow did.
Just one fight, just wiping up the enemy team, I guess, gives you quite a lot of gold there. That's Heart of the Rest for Mag as well. He already had 2.6k HP. He's going to sit at like 3.5 probably when the item is delivered to him, level 20 as well. Who the hell is going to kill off the Centaur? I mean, unless it's like 1 versus 5 or something in Illidan. Going for the melee Rex, going to get disrupted up by PGG. Disruption, level 3 Earth Splitter, not going to connect on Illidan himself. So he makes it out. At least the melee Rex still stand for Moscow 5 as well. They did have to buy back on the Tidehunter though, although he doesn't even have a single Ravage.
Yeah, now we're right back in this same exact scenario that we've been seeing for the past, like, however long, 29 minutes, something like that. Like, nothing has really been going on. As Moscow 5, they almost get completely wiped. They don't take any substantial building damage, at least no Raxes, and that's what I mean by substantial building damage. And now, I mean, are they really just going to straight push once again? They don't even have the Refresher Orb for double Ravage, and they don't have the Naga Siren down. That's really the only reason they push in the first place. And top lane is being fully pushed. Bottom lane is also being pretty aggressively pushed by Phobos. They're going to smoke up to the top lane, and they might run into the Centaur, but This Centaur is a BKB. He doesn't have a TP out, but he has Blink Dagger Stampede, and we're just going to walk out of there. This is once again going to be a failed attempt at Moscow 5 to get something happening. All the while, their base is slowly being chipped away.
At least they're trying to do something. I mean, sometimes some teams just, they're going to farm up their base, push out the lanes, and never ever leave their base as well. At least at the moment, if they get another pick off like that they got before on the Naga Siren, they might have another chance, but they're going to find Mag, maybe, never mind. Just the Astro Spirit. Arrow will not hit either thanks to that Stampede. So nothing will come of this center. Sitting on 3.6k HP as well with the heart. Oh god. Earth Splitter, of course, will pretty much do like 1,000 damage to him, but even so, he's gonna have 2.6 left.
Man, look at this return damage as well. Like, this one friggin' rock golem killed himself. He's taking 80 damage a pop from return. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, blade mail for 80, permanent, seems pretty nice to me. And for Moscow 5, they don't have enough damage to very quickly kill him off. Mirana has a Desolator and a Maelstrom, going for all the damage she could possibly get her hands on, but it's not going to be enough because she's probably going to be dying a little bit faster than the Centaur is going to. Well, maybe outside of Elder Titan Spirit and the Aura, that'll help out a little bit, but this is, I don't know what Moscow 5 could do anymore. They need another pick off. They need to use this double Ravage again, but I mean, even though they did use a double Ravage, it didn't end up very well for them in the mid lane, so they need something else. And Mirana carry, this is not going to hold up against the Naga Siren late game. She's not even if she was equal on net worth, Mirana would not be able to do it.
Bignum drops pretty low from DK Phobos to stag on level 5. If only he had rearm like a Tinker at the moment, but...
Refresher Orb?
Well, I guess it couldn't be too bad, and with the Hand of Midas, he's going to get the farm eventually. He's number 2 in net worth, although still getting surpassed by the Naga Siren by about 10,000. PGG... Oh no, he got bashed by Roshan! Oh my god, PG, he's so dead if Illidan finds him. Just check Roche Pit, guys. Yeah, the Russian caster is having fun as well.
Okay, so PGG intentional for sure. Is going to survive that scenario as he does sneak himself around the Naga Siren. He was actually, was he spotted by this Radiant Ward? I don't think he was. He was just out of range of that. So, yeah, VP don't even know what was going on, and it's probably better that way. So, we'll just pretend that that didn't happen. But we are going to.
Just with the Invis rune, Vengeful Spirit walks into the Dire base, places down a ward, and remains in the trees.
Okay, so if Vengeful Spirit was a Naga Siren instead, she'd be able to do something off of this. Although she's heading up for the Centaur. They see the Mirana. There we go. Magic Missile Hoof Stomp. The Mirana's gone. Pretty sure there was someone there, but all that's left is a bloody splotch on the floor. Bignum gonna charge forward, gush into Lil. They might get this Vengeful Spirit in response, but that's still not even a worthwhile trade for them. And they might not even get it. Here comes Phobos, poke at Bignum, dropping a coil for good measure. Dagon Blast. Oh my god.
No buyback. No buyback. Yeah, we're not gonna see another double Ravage this game, I think. At least we saw one. Was a pretty good one as well. First hitting 2, the other one catching puck as well because Face Shield was already in cooldown. But this time around, 60 seconds on silence. PG does get rid of the illusions at least, so not gonna die purely to them. But they're losing multiple sets of frags at the same time.
Not gonna die purely to illusions, like, that shouldn't be a victory for you. That should just be the norm, and this is just another Naga Siren game, guys. This is what happens, and, well, we see exactly that. GG has been called. It was very anticlimactic. The peak of the action was like 10 minutes into the game, but thankfully this is a best of 2. And if VP Polar pick up Naga Siren again, then we're going to have a serious talk about this. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Vengeful Spirit needs some items, but we're going to be moving on to game number 2 very shortly, guys. Stay tuned for that one. GG.